What's up, gang? In this video we're going to be going over a couple strats that have been working really well for me lately and are a little odd, which is why I think they work so well. This first clip is an attack strat for Oregon when they go games. You may have already seen this strat on one of my highlight videos, but I've actually been doing it the same way ever since, so it's been working pretty well for me. And I wanted to break down how I do it, the mentality behind it, so that you can apply it in your game. First I'm going to let this clip play out and then we're going to go over how to do it. Alright, it works.
Okay.
Kafe did the dead man.
Did you get the stuff off? Yeah, you're good.
I don't think this guy's got any ADSs over here.
Yeah, I get it.
He does, I can't see him.
Oh, it glitched. Big glitch.
Legion might be
Oh,
downstairs.
that's a dead guy.
Where's that Jaeger at?
I had a guy dead.
Where's Jaeger?
I've out of control.
Nice. He's running out on me. Classroom.
Yo, just take sight. Get in the game before he can rotate up.
I think you're rotated.
I'm in dorms, like bunks. I'm in bunks.
Alright, I'm coming.
One on your way.
White. He's about to die. One sounds like true. Good job. Games rotate.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not rotating.
You can't actually.
Inside. He's right by me. Good job.
Okay, you can see my operator of choice here is Sledge for 3 reasons. First is because he has nades. Second is because he has a very good close range loadout, being the SMG-11. And third is because he has his sledgehammer, which you can open the window both instantly and pretty quietly as well. The first thing I do is send my drone through the attic drone hole. There's 2 goals in doing this. The first goal is to try and find out what they're doing and how hard they're holding this area. You may have noticed in the clip I intentionally droned out the utility to see if he had any ADSs to catch my nades, which he didn't. The second, and not as important, but definitely gives you a leg up if you can pull it off, is to try to not let them know you're droning attic. Anytime you let the enemy know you're droning that area, they're gonna start preparing for you to push. It's just common sense. So try to be as sneaky with your drones as possible, but need to get in the building, so if you have to sacrifice your drone, then sacrifice it. I always pocket a second one anyway, so that I know I can use it to find out more information. Now, if you're not good with nades, I suggest you get good with nades, because it's an incredibly powerful attacker secondary gadget. Maybe practice it in T-Hunt or something. Now, oddly enough, I didn't mean to throw it in the windowsill because I thought he was still over by the trophy wall, but I have intentionally cooked nades to blow up right in the window, which I'll show you here right now. Command it. Now, it's important to try to take attic control as soon as you kill usually the one guy that's holding it. Jump in the window and be ready for them to swing around the corner. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It's really important for me to mention this, that the whole reason pushing attic in the first place is so that your team can go for a plant in games without being shot from the guy in attic. So oftentimes you don't even need to push any further than this right here in order for your team to get the plant down. The only reason I pushed up is because it didn't seem like we had the map control that we needed, and it also seemed like they weren't communicating effectively because somebody would have been holding my angle by now since I killed the bandit. At this point, I'm just trying to get more map control since a lot of the defenders seem to be off-site. Ideally, the 0 that had the diffuser would have just come around to the big window, jumped in, and planted while I covered him. But since he was being pushed from the Jaeger on white stairs and likely didn't know I was there, I decided to swing him to get the easy kill. After the plant went down, the Legion gave away its position trying to kill 0, so I decided to take advantage of knowing where he was, and since since he was pretty distracted, I felt very comfortable taking this gunfight. This strategy is all about information, timing, and finesse. Take a look at how I take attic this time. It's very different because I end up having to deal with 2 guys in attic, and watch how I use timing and the sound cue of the guy walking away to know when I should push in. Bandit. There's a guy in attic. Guy in attic still. I think that was a guy in attic. Now, my team did a lot of work and covered a lot of map control in this clip, but I still got 3 kills doing this strat and distracted their team so that my team could take map control more easily. The last kill is just me getting greedy since it's 5v1. Now, before we move on to the next strat, I wanted to go over a couple things that you really need to watch out for. Firstly, once you do this strat in game, it's very hard to execute a second time in the same game if you need to attack the same bomb site twice. It's not impossible, but it is difficult and definitely requires you to be more alert. Secondly, you really need to watch out for this angle right here. A lot of players, if they know you're pushing attic, will jump up on this and just hold this angle, which is really hard for you to contest. Drone it out if you can. Okay, moving on to the next strat, which is an attack strat for Kafe when they go reading Fireplace Hall. Again, we're going to let this clip play out and then break down the thought process behind it.
One's in train.
One's cocktail.
They have a smoke, but I don't see any ADSs. I might be able to blind him if I can push
Cocktail.
in.
Bandit cocktail.
I'm gonna try and go for a plant.
Go for plant where?
In hell.
Dano's clear.
Planting. Maestro's in sight. Defusing.
Defusing, dude.
I'm getting close.
On.
Yep.
Okay, as you can see, the operator of choice here is Ying. And about this strat, you might be looking at it thinking, yeah, but that looks like kind of a one-time deal special circumstance. And I would agree with you, except I did it again the exact same way a few games later, and I'll get to that here in a bit. I believe this is actually a pretty viable strat, simply because most teams don't give enough attention over to that doorway that you enter into bomb site as they ought to. Now, if you notice, we start out getting a drone into the bomb site in the prep phase. This is probably the most important part of this strat. Now, getting drones inside the bomb site is one of the hardest things you can do because people are always shooting them just as soon as they drone in, or they always find them at some point. That's why I make sure to drive mine in, don't jump because jumping is super loud, and just face the lights up against the couch so that it doesn't have the glowing effect that the drones have when you're looking at somebody. Now, before we get any further with this strat, guys, I just wanted to say we are here to win. We're here to rank up. The reason I say that is because you're not likely to get very many kills or even a kill doing this strat. What you are very likely to do is to get the bomb planted, which is imperative to winning the round, as you know. As you noticed, right after I got the bomb down, I died. Obviously, you don't have to die. You might be able to get out of that situation, but it's tough. Really, you need your teammates to hold post-plant just to make sure they don't defuse. I'll get into that more here in a second. Okay, the next step is to determine exactly when you need to breach the doorway and go for the plant. Notice how I keep checking my drone over and over again to see what the enemy is doing. I want to know what they know, and what I find out is that they are still not paying attention to that doorway. Now, the reason I use the breaching charge on this door is actually for several reasons. First is because it's actually a lot more quiet than it sounds like it is on our side. Second is because they're not going to be expecting that sound to be coming from that doorway because it's a hard breach and they know it when they hear it. Third is because it actually only does 5 damage tops when you stand right in front of it. And the fourth is self-explanatory because it gets me in instantly without making a door breaking noise. Oh, and fifth, it gives me time to cook my candela. I forgot about that one. Now, this part's really important. As I just said, I cook the candela all the way to 3, and notice where I throw it. I throw it right on top of where they are. When you cook it all the way to 3, it will go off instantly when it touches the ground, which is what you want. The next one you don't want to cook because you want it to go off after the first one is done. The third one, I'm actually going to start trying to pocket to see if I can throw another one to get out of there post plant. I threw it here because this was my first time trying the strat. Also notice really quickly how well the candelas cover up the sound of me planting. Okay, if you die, it's up to your team to keep the plant from being defused. As you can see, my team did a great job at keeping them from defusing. I also want to make mention that this strat is best when at least 3 people are pushing upstairs trying to take control, because it both distracts them and misleads them on what's actually happening. It'll also keep them preoccupied if they have any holes in the floor to watch for plant. So you might want to wait until your team is in place to start taking upstairs control. Also, for post plant, I highly recommend Kafe because he's the perfect operator to keep them from defusing. Once you get the plant down and get out of there or die trying, Kafe can be outside the doorway either watching the drone or listening for the plant to go down, or even send a new drone in to find out what's going on. And once they start defusing, just shoot a firebolt in there and it'll burn 10 seconds of their time for each firebolt. That's almost half of the plant time, which is 45 seconds. Another option is any operator with frag grenades. You can easily get those in there through the same doorway. And if you need to, the last resort is to just push into the doorway and shoot the planter. This exposes you to a lot of angles, which is why it's the last resort. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Consider subscribing if you want to see more of this content, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.